It's time for our daily dose of cope. And no news anchors today, but we have the lovely Lola Leopard. She's enjoying this face that said, "Did we own the libs yet?" That seemed to be the most important thing, owning and triggering the libs. And no, they have not owned the libs yet, but their faces have definitely been eaten. Go ahead and take a screenshot just in case you need this picture. So this next post is amazing. It's so great. So we got this man, David. He has a company called Jesus Doll. His about: entrepreneur for Christ, creator of the Talking Jesus Doll, pioneer of the church incubator for free market ministry, speaker, formerly a top performer at world's largest software company. So he is definitely extra Jesus-y. Let's go, Jesus. So before I move on, though, this is Fox News right here. This is Pete Kexit. So just know that, yes, he is MAGA. Okay, so remember here, Trump was so ecstatic about his tariffs and Liberation Day, aka Liquidation Day, aka liberation from their money. Anyways, David shared the Liberation Day photo saying, "I own a small plush toy business. We manufacture our products in China. Liberation Day will be a fatal blow to lots of small business owners like ours." And then he made post about these tariffs. Here he is explaining how the tariffs will impact his small business. And this is a Jesus dude. He's MAGA. He says, "We make our products in China. We have a great company there that we've been working with for 4 years to develop, produce, refine, and continuously improve. We have introduced 6 new products in that time period, but now we are subjected to a 34% tariff on imported goods to the United States. Here's how that works. We have a container coming over now on $60,000 of product that we have already paid for. We will have to stroke a check to the government for $20,000 just to get our products. Can you write a check to a stranger for $20,000 and be okay? Probably not. And most small businesses are just getting by anyway. So here's what happens next. We have to raise prices. Maybe we get a loan to cover the duty. Maybe we took it out of our kids' college funds. We had no choice. So we have to get that money back. Prices go up, demand goes down, life sucks, economics 101. But that's just us. We have a lot of indie retailers that sell our products. Retailers will face a bigger impact because they are buying at half of the list price. Duty tax will have a larger impact on them because there is just less margin to work with. So we get smoked, our customers get smoked, our retailers get smoked. My point is the pain trickles down to everyone. And that is for toys. Obviously, people don't need toys, so people are not going to spend extra money on toys. And the thing is, he campaigned on tariffs. These people still voted for them despite the fact that he campaigned on tariffs. This is part 2, and it's long, and it's important to read these things because it's important to see how these tariffs are impacting small businesses, because this will be happening across the country, across multiple businesses, across different industries. All right, here's part 2, and it's important that we read these examples because it just goes to show that this is going to impact so many people in precisely this way. I'm going to skip to this part right here. Tariffs are a tax on the tariffing population. In this case, the U.S. is taking money from U.S. business, which negatively affects our economy more than China's. Remember, my supplier got their money. They are happy. It was me that had to fork over the $2,000 to the government. What do I get out of that? A real tariff policy tariffs stuff you export. It punishes the other country, not your country. They do make sense if you have industry you are protecting. In our case, there is no industry to protect. So it becomes punitive and destructive. Put tariffs on lumber, house prices soar. Tariffs on clothes, clothes prices soar. Maybe do targeted industries to incrementally create domestic capabilities. Doing this all at once is a nuclear bomb. And if you think you are safe, think again. In our interconnected economy, the fallout will hit you. So this sucks. Small businesses are going to die. It's that simple. It will be an implosion so rapid that you will not believe how fast it takes hold. And like I said, he knows this stuff, right? So why did he vote for this? And I know I took up a good chunk of time for this, but it's important to see these examples. And here's his Jesus doll. Right now it's $35, or you can get 4 for $100, just in case you need a talking Jesus doll. So the conservatives are talking about tariffs. So whoever posted this in the subreddit blurred out their names. Boo. All right, but this is a Hindu conservative saying, wait, aren't electronics one of the main reasons for even implementing these tariffs? Because we're going to create things here. Like, we're going to really put these things together. This millennial conservative says, I thought these were the things that we were supposed to be making here now. I don't think the United States has as much leverage as Trump thinks. It sucks, but it's not like other countries don't have cards to play that can significantly hurt Americans. Correct, millennial conservative. So this constitutional conservative says, I can see how this helps prices in the short term, but how does this lessen our independence on China, make China play by the rules or come to the table to negotiate? It doesn't. It's showing our weakness. Trump is weak in these negotiations. This person says, making foreign products more expensive is sort of the point, is it not? And then this family man says, it is when it's targeted and there's planning. I'm seeing no investment, subsidies for farmers, tax incentives, or grants to any particular sector to build up factories or production to make these tariffs make sense. In the meantime, we bear the brunt of these costs as consumers. A lot of American businesses will go out of business because there's simply no way to shift production here for many of the things at the moment. There is no strategy other than to poke the hive and demand deals. No plan to maintain the trade relationship with our partners, who may find themselves cozying up to China, which can lead to a weaker global position. I understand none of this approach. I'd love to be walked through it, but I don't see the logic. The vague overarching theory is make foreign products expensive so American products can now be purchased. Then American companies can just raise their prices slightly below the new tariffed China price, or there is no American equivalent. So there's that. A lot of people do not understand what's going on. And then finally, this last one. So the small business that imports from China pays tariffs, but Apple doesn't. I don't like this one, and Trump better fix it soon. Moderate conservative says, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If anything, it should be part of the 90-day pause to give them some time to shift their supply chains, which they should have already been doing. And then this last one, America First conservative says, 90 days to shift phone/chip manufacturing, LOL. This is literally the shart of the deal. Someone said that. Someone commented that on my YouTube page, the shart of the deal. So this one's titled, Getting Stomped by the Same Boot He Kissed. Look at Mark Zuckerberg looking just very cool. He looks like a very cool tech bro. So this is titled, Mark Zuckerberg's Empire at Stake as Meta Prepares to Battle Trump's Antitrust Cops in Court. If Zuckerberg can't convince Trump to settle before trial, Meta will become the second tech giant in 2 years to face off against antitrust watchdogs. And then finally, let's talk about big oil. This is an article from Bloomberg. Texas oil executives are frustrated at Trump for crushing crude prices. It also contributed heavily to Trump's election campaign. And yet, half of the 20 worst performing stocks on the S&P 500 index since Trump announced his tariffs April 2nd are in the oil, gas, and petrochemical sector, while crude prices have plunged to a 4-year low. I don't know an industry that was more supportive of Trump than the oil and gas industry, said Kirk Edwards, a former chairman of the Petroleum Association, who attended the tournament Monday in the West Texas city of Odessa, which lies in the middle of the Permian amid a landscape dotted with pump jacks. People are in shock at how quickly he can get the price of oil down. The growing unease reflects how Trump's efforts to rewrite global trade rules is undermining his goal to supercharge U.S. fuel production and achieve energy dominance. Executives are loath to boost U.S. oil supply, with West Texas Intermediate down about 27% since Trump's inauguration less than 3 months ago. Is now hovering around $57, below the level they say they need for new wells to break even, according to a survey by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. So they're no longer just pulling in the money and making tons and tons of profit if they are just breaking even. Adding to their woes, OPEC and its allies last week plunged to a triple production increase previously scheduled for May. The cartel announced it hours after Trump unveiled its tariffs. These two things together shocked the whole industry, said Lin Hua Guan, CEO of Houston-based oil producer Surge Energy. The president has long made it clear where he stands on oil prices. On the campaign trail last fall, Trump said he didn't give a damn if oil companies drilled themselves out of business as long as prices fell. Now, as oil executives watch plunging prices with alarm, Trump is gleefully celebrating the fact. Gasoline, he predicts, could fall to the lowest level in years. And they gave him all this money. There you go. Leopards meet face.
Rest of the world. By the way, Donald Trump already caved in. Check the news. You must admit that Western propaganda is the best propaganda in humanity history. They make you know 1989. They don't make you know 1970 in Kent State, 1985 Philadelphia, right? Like a Chinese, we don't know about this dark history of Western countries. But you guys all know China's? So smart.